Yo, what's up, you guys? This is your boy Adrian. Today is about talking about my topic is talk about WWE Legends Part 2. I did Part 1 with my cousin. We talk about WWE Legends with the moment that we want to talk about. So I got a special guest, CG Ruthless Sports, and let's talk about WWE Legends, man. I've been missing those good days, but now WWE have changed in so many years. So tell me about WWE, man. How'd you grow up watching wrestling, man?
Oh man, yeah, it's good to be back on the show. Man, wrestling is. I'll be honest with you, it was like the first sport that I watched as a kid before I even got into football. I watched wrestling during the early '90s, during the days where you had Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, The Undertaker when he was about to come into his own. Then you had WCW, which was like one of those Monday Night Wars and all that stuff. I grew up at a time where wrestling was something to watch. And then as we got older, we had the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era, which I felt was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we look in today's WWE, lately it's kind of been interesting.
Right.
Like, have you been watching it lately or not?
I've been one, but the only I found out when past last week when Rey Mysterio's son turned on him because he became a Judgment Day one of the members. So Dominic turned his dad. Like I was surprised. Like wow, I was like I didn't know what was going on. Like dude, why did you turn on your dad? Just like Eddie when he turned on Ray and Batista. Like he's a short wrestler, but you don't give him a chance to be. I want to see them to be a baby face, but it sucks now that his son is healed. Like I never see Ray became heel before, but Ray's always been faced like the old time since he was in WWE, and he's like, dude, your dad was like looking up to you. He's always like motivating you like to become a good wrestler, but now he's a good wrestler. It's just I want him to be like following his dad's footsteps. Like you can be a face, in this WWE, but now these days, man, it's like it's crazy now.
Well, okay. Let me just get this one correctly. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's rare for Rey Mysterio to be a heel,
Mm-hmm.
but you forget that in WCW he was a heel with the no mask. He was under the filthy animal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember that because he was unmasked and then he turned heel with him and Conan. So that was like maybe a 1 year run before he became the face again. But this was waiting to happen because the storyline just seemed like how Dominic kept telling him to stay out of his way and he kept costing his matches here and there. And it frustrated Dominic. It made a lot of sense. But at first, when Vince McMahon was still around, they weren't making nothing out of this storyline. They were just making it stalemate. So the thing that stands out about Dominic becoming a heel is actually it's good for him because everybody's talking about, well, you're in your dad's shadow. You're in the business because your dad's in the business. They gave you this opportunity because your dad. And I think that's what bothered him a lot. But I think that's the plan, bro. So I'm intrigued by this. As a fan, I like this because it gives me an understanding of how the storyline could lead. Like
Right.
it's like he gets to be his own guy and he gets to build a feud with his dad and a feud with Edge. So that's good. But is it kind of like a popular decision to do that? Most fans probably never understood it, but I like the direction. It's more storylines, more ways to put your son over, and a better way to walk away retired from the business after you put your son over or something like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I think after Ray retires, I think Dominic will be the top wrestler. But I know he won a one tag team championship with him, but I wanted him to see he can be the top wrestler, following his dad's legacy, going on and on. But I really want to see that in the future because I think this kid is so young. I know he probably is gonna be following his dad's footsteps. So I want to see that, like he can win like maybe a multiple championship, like maybe Intercontinental Championship or United States or now it's not anymore. It's not no heavyweight championship. It's more like Universal Championship and WWE Championship. But I want to see he can continue his legacy as a WWE, but it's for his dad. But now, like, there's so many generation for a simple, like the Samoans now. You see, like Roman Reigns, like he's the top dog. My opinion, he's way better than The Rock, but The Rock was been there for so many years for W, became a movie star. So I can say Roman Reigns, man, he is like the top dog. I think he can beat The Rock. Maybe in my opinion, maybe at WrestleMania. That's my prediction. I want to see them to get into who's a better wrestler, who's a better
Yeah.
Samoan, but it's hard to say, dude.
Okay, with all due respect, The
Uh-huh.
Rock is the best, and I don't think Roman Reigns is even that close, bro. Roman
Mhm.
Reigns is his own guy. Roman
Mhm.
Reigns is just a bootleg version of Kevin Nash.
Mhm.
Kevin Nash wasn't all that exciting to watch. When you watch Roman Reigns wrestle, bro, all you see is like a spear, clothesline, little here and there. He
Mhm.
doesn't innovate much. Like he's just one of those guys. Like he gives you that Goldberg vibe where it's just a couple moves here and there, and boom, spear, 1, 2, 3. With The Rock, you see a lot of different moves. You see the rock bottom, people's elbow, the clothesline, the spine buster, the sharpshooters.
Mhm.
There's other moves, and then his mic skills is top notch. So I
Yeah.
don't, I disagree with you saying Reigns is better than him. I think because Reigns is in a better era and he's getting
Mhm.
more of a push. I just think there's nobody better than The Rock.
Yeah.
That's where I made that stop right there.
Yeah. I agree with you. The Rock's been there for NW for a long time. He learned a lot from the Samoans and his dad. So The Rock's always gonna be the top wrestler. No matter what. My favorite match about The Rock was The Rock versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. It was a good fight, but Brock Lesnar took that belt from him. But I think that's the last time I seen him or The Rock. I think last week I was watching the old WrestleMania 18 when Hogan versus The Rock. It was a great match right there. It was really like a good rival each other because who's a better who's a better wrestler, who's like top guy. So I can get The Rock was always there. He's one of my favorite wrestlers all time. I can give him like the top five. It's hard to say who's my top one right now, but it's hard to say, dude. Like I know I can put Rock in number five. Number four will come be Triple H. Number three, I can say
Oh yeah. I
like
mean,
it's hard to say, dude.
well, if we're
Mhm.
talking like top matches of The Rock that I liked the most growing
Mhm.
up was I liked his rivalry with Triple H. Triple H and him had a good rivalry. They had a great chemistry. Him and Stone Cold was an interesting rivalry.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's too bad I didn't get to see him and Shawn Michaels battle each other. That would have been something to watch. I would have loved to seen him and Shawn Michaels have a rivalry, but that was before Michaels had the injury and he was missing significant time for like at least a couple of years, and then
Mhm.
but I would have loved to see that type of match. But when we
Mhm.
saw Rock and Rock and Triple H and Stone Cold rivalry, then you had Mick Foley.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, there was a match that was building up pretty well, but I thought the Triple H and the Rock rivalry was outstanding. Like you had Stone Cold also. I thought that was a good one because it was building up something good.
Mhm.
Then the
Yeah.
Undertaker.
Yeah. Same here. Yeah. Rikishi and them.
Rikishi was more like the thing that was interesting about Rikishi was he was a really tough wrestler, but he just like he built up a good storyline with The Rock where he's like saying, I'm doing this for The Rock.
Mhm.
I don't know if you ever seen that storyline where he says, I
I
did it for
think
The
I
Rock.
heard it. I did this for Rock because I remember he ran over the Rock and
No,
that's
no, Rikishi. No, I mean Stone Cold.
oh no, I think I did, but I'm not sure.
I did it for The Rock.
Uh
I thought that was the funniest
that's
catch line. I did it for The Rock.
yeah. I think
We're family. I do it for The Rock.
yeah. I remember the Rock and Stone Cold has been rivals for a long time because I only watched W since 2002, way before Eddie passed away. So I see a lot of history about them two. Like they've been rivals for a long time. Who's better, The Rock or Stone Cold? But it's hard to say between them. But they're really both good. They face each other in WrestleMania 19. There was a WrestleMania 17. But I remember when Stone Cold was turning heel that time. Like, dude, I'm turning heel. I'm gonna win the championship. And he hit the Rock like so many times. Like he was like turning on Vince, like I'm gonna beat this part of this whatever. But man, Stone Cold and Rock always been rivals to each other. But I can see that will be my top. my top five each other. They've been rivals for a long time, but they go always get at it together. And but after later, it's like, you know what? I don't know who's a better wrestler, but I can say they were both good.
Well, the rivalry between him and Stone Cold was interesting. Like what really caught my attention about that match was that was a shock of a heel turn at WrestleMania. Was it like 17 or something?
Yeah.
I think that was the match where Stone Cold was wrestling for the title belt, and then Vince McMahon gave him the chair or something, and it was unexpected. Nobody would have thought in some way that this would happen. And it became they worked together. Stone Cold and Vince worked together at some point, but a lot of the stuff was kind of like weird. But they needed to mix it up a little bit. So now that when you see what's going on lately in WWE, they're starting to build back a little bit of the Attitude Era with the Ruthless Aggression a little bit. You'll see the storylines are pretty much relatable. Like, let me give you an example of what wrestlers are pretty relatable with these storylines. Okay, you know this guy Dexter Lumis, right? The guy that they got, right?
I think so for sure. Yeah, I can.
He gives you the resembles of Heidenreich, where he follows freaking Michael Cole.
Oh yeah.
Or the Boogeyman.
Yeah, I remember Boogeyman. Yeah,
but he's stalking the Miz, bro. That's a good example of a storyline where it's a stalker. And then the one storyline that's pretty interesting is Judgment Day. They gave you the resembles of the Ministry of Darkness, kind of. And then when you look at the other groups, like okay, for these storylines, I don't know what they're building into, but if they bring back the way they're bringing back these talents, it's going to be good. But I mean, it's kind of interesting. Now they're starting to push these wrestlers right now. But when you look at the rest of the rosters from other rosters, like, I don't know, AEW, they got some good stars, but they don't know what the hell they're doing with the wrestlers. It's like they don't have no space for them. Like, there's good wrestlers. They just don't get them in title contention as much.
Yeah, because EW reminds me more like WCW. Remember WCW? They used to bring all wrestlers from W to WCW. That's why they're doing exactly like they're doing, because I'm thinking WWE and EW are going to be rivals. Who's a better show? Who's a better wrestler? And who's in there? But they're going to be rivals. I bet you 100% they will, because I want to see that. If I want to see that, that'd be more entertainment. Like, it's like, oh shoot, like who's better, you know? But like, I remember I used to watch TNA. I thought TNA remind me about WCW, but my step brother told me, yeah, TNA reminds me of WCW. It's like, what do you mean? They're not remind me of WCW. They were more like ECW back then, you know, when they used to do a lot of stream. And I know TNA only had a time limit, because when I was watching TNA back then, like, it used to be on Fox, right? I'm like, yeah.
Spikes.
No, it was Fox before Spike.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't. So they only had like a time limit. Like, they only have like 20 or 30 minutes for limit to match, and I never seen it. And then when I see it, like, wait a second, that's Jeff Hardy. He's in TNA. And they have a time limit to not, you know, like if it winner or lose or draw or whatever, they have the time limit to finish, because if they don't, who's going to win this match? But TNA, they changed a lot since TNA, you know, but TNA was like, I don't know which one's better, W or TNA, but I think both they were really good. But I always wanted TNA and W against each other, but I'll doubt about it, because you know how Vince McMahon was like, dude, like, who's better and who's not. But
I mean, during the time when you had TNA in the early parts, they were coming off of building a promotion with NWA. So NWA, eventually they started splitting different directions, because NWA at one point was like a dead promotion for a while. But then when they started to work together with TNA, it started becoming pretty interesting. But yeah, when you looked at TNA as a fan growing up during those days, in 2002 was when they first started the business. They had these world title tournaments, and the winner of that match was Ken Shamrock. He won the match by winning by submission. He was the first inaugural TNA World Champion, which was the NWA World Championship. And then what's interesting about TNA during those early years, you had some pretty damn good, interesting matches. There were some ECW vibes a little bit, and then there were some WCW vibes in some ways, but it kind of gave you some excitements. The AJ Styles of the early era was dude, he was something. He was unbelievable. He was like their best talent by far.
Mm-hmm.
You had guys like Bobby Roode, who was coming in as a tag team specialist before he became his own guy. You had James Storm, who was a tag team specialist but came into his own. You had guys like Samoa Joe, who wasn't given opportunities from the WWE at one point, made his name in the WWE, I mean in TNA, and then Kurt Angle eventually left because of injury issues, and then he came here and made a name for himself there.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Jarrett was just a guy that kept pushing himself to the moon. He was one of those guys and ran the company. I mean, TNA had some good runs, but then after those, after the later 2010s or later on, it just wasn't quite the same.
Yeah, I agree with you because I could say who's my top wrestlers for TNA. It would be we used to be AJ Styles, Simone Joe, Same, Hardy, of course Jeff, AJ, Bobby Roode, James Storm, um, Austin Aries was a really damn good wrestler. He was really damn good. He made the first told Hogan that he trying to do option C when I
Oh
think
yeah,
yeah, option when he said that if he wins the if he wins the TNA Division Championship, he can have an opportunity to go to TNA to be the will come the when number one contender become the TNA World Heavyweight Champion the
oh
weight
yeah. He changed the
championship.
game.
He changed the whole game. It's like the Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
Remember
it
when
was like
remember
cashing and stuff. Yeah,
you
but
just go to Money in the Bank like okay I'll go cash my bank and boom you're already there you already win you win a title or anything so that's
never
mm-hmm,
never understood the other concept of those other matches. There was some ladder match where you had to put the belt back off or something. I never understood one of those matches. I don't know if you remember the one with the cage thing and then they locked them for a time limit and then they had this, they had to take the belt off and then go back up there. Like, what the hell? Like, I never understood the concept of it, but it was weird because Vince Russo probably made that match up.
yeah yeah
But yeah, part
yeah
of the
TNA was crazy back then because TNA had like the X division. They're
yeah.
not ladders, but they have the rope on it and they have an X-ray in the middle. You had to climb up or how to like put like on. You had to climb up with your hand or your feet. Like how this dude can do this crap, and it's crazy. I never seen that before because TNA was way popular than more than WWE because WWE used to have like TLC, but for them there was called I don't know what match was it, but I remember Abyss and Jeff Hardy. It's like TLC, but it's something else I had to name it. But I
Oh,
don't
it's called the ladder mayhem or something.
something like that. It's like
It's
TLC.
it's a ladder mayhem or something.
So something like that. Yeah, that was way popular. That was way better.
That was what it's called, a TLC match. They just call it mayhem something.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you looked at those matches, Jeff Hardy was pretty much putting everybody over, and then he was over the moon. And then Rob Van Dam came into it at that point. D'Lo Brown came in. You had a lot of these WWE cast-offs that just went from here and made a mark there. Like guys like R-Truth, he came as Ron Killings. He wasn't quite a big star in WWE at that point. And then when he went to TNA, he won the world title twice. And then I guess in 2007 or 6, when his contract was up, he signed to the WWE. But that's where he made his money mostly, was when he started off in TNA as a world champion twice.
Right. Yeah, because I remember Jeff Hardy. This guy was my favorite wrestler all time. I know he's a legend now in WWE. I give him my credit. I know what he was going through so much because when he got released in WWE in 2002, because he had like drug addict and all this crap, but Jeff Hardy was the top wrestler. He's a high flyer. Him and Rob Van Dam, they were both good. And I remember Jeff Hardy used to climb up a ladder. He just like he landed on Bubba because there was a table when Bubba was there, and then Jeff Hardy climbs up and boom, he landed. And then Jeff Hardy, he did like the whisper of the wind on the steel cage when he was out in the cage, but he had trying to climb up to save his brother Matt between Edge and Christian. Like, dude, how does Jeff does all this crap? I never seen him. I wish I could have been like Jeff Hardy doing the same thing. But I'm afraid of fights, but this kid is good. So Jeff Hardy was everywhere, whatever his ladders, whatever he's in a climb, whatever he's climbing up, like a sage or whatever, he knows what he's at risk. Like, but Jeff Hardy was a good damn wrestler. I give him my good one of my top. I guess my top 5 wrestler for him is gonna be Jeff Hardy versus I guess versus CM Punk. I remember they had like TLC match on SummerSlam. It was a great match between them. The other Jeff Hardy, it was versus The Undertaker when Jeff Hardy came short to become a WWE Championship. That would make me upset. Like, man, Jeff, you came short, but you're only gonna like, dude, you came short, but you just, like,
But he was on the way up.
I was hopefully Matt can help, but Jeff was doing his own. Like, okay, Jeff is learning by himself. He can be a single competitor. I want him to see he can do his own. But
That match alone built them up a little more because
yeah,
that match against the Undertaker was like
mhm,
it was like the beginning of what Jeff Hardy could be. Even though he didn't win the match, it did kind of build momentum for him when you look at the matches. Like, okay, when I look at Jeff Hardy's top of 5 matches that I've enjoyed watching, the first ever TLC match, him and Matt Hardy and the Hardy Boys, like WrestleMania 2000 or whatever the main event was. I watched that match, and it's still one of the most classic matches that I still watch to this freaking day. Like the Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, the Hardys. That match was something, like, hands down. Any match with TLC when Hardy's in it, bro, I just love it. The matches with him and Rob Van Dam are outstanding. Okay, so if I had to name a match in TNA that was one of Jeff Hardy's best matches, was him and AJ Styles put on some good matches. I think him and Styles put on good matches
I remember
together.
AJ used to hate Jeff Hardy, but now I get it, But Jeff and Jeff, I mean AJ and Jeff, they've been rivals since like 2002. They had a dream match between them for the X Division Championship. I watched that match, but Jeff didn't win it. Neither AJ. Like, I know them two are gonna be rivals for a long time, and that's when AJ was mad at Jeff one time because Jeff Hardy came back from his rehab because he had another drug going on with him as well, and he had a family, he had a kid, and then he was telling AJ told Jeff, "I'm giving you some advice, like, are you taking it away from my family? You're taking it like." What are you trying to do? I get it, but Jeff Hardy is like he had to understand what's going on in his life. But Jeff Hardy, one of my favorite matches about him is Jeff Hardy versus Abyss. It's like one of my favorite matches all time. I seen it between them. They've been rivals for a while, for a long time. But when he was gonna face Sane, Victor Road, I think it was Victor Road in 2011. I was so in school, like, oh man, it's gonna be a good match between them. But guess that didn't happen. And then it's like, I know Jeff Hardy was going on with his head, and it's like, you know what, you better get be clean, man, because Jeff Hardy was back in drugs, because Jeff Hardy would never be clean, and he's so now that he's getting a rehab. I don't know when Jeff is gonna change. We don't know if Jeff Hardy.
I just don't think this guy's gonna ever change, bro. Like he's a drug addiction. Like this guy is the life of the party. He still thinks he's still at this point. I mean, I checked out a couple of the videos of him getting busted, bro. This guy was busted on the road like months ago, and he was wearing a Jaguar shirt because he's working for AEW. But he comes in and he looks all stoned out, and the cops were just wondering, like, one of them knew who he was, and the other ones didn't know who the fuck he was. They're saying he looked like a stone hippie.
Right.
Or a guy that was all messed up or something.
Yeah, I met
Jeff was like this. He was like this.
Yeah, I met his brother Matt one time. I met Matt Hardy here in Fresno. There was a big old line, and I can tell Matt was like he was acting like a jerk. I of course it was a big line, but I asked him, "Can we put my name and all that?" Like, so yeah, no, he only put his name. That's it. And he didn't put my name, and I can tell Matt was a jerk. Like, no, I think Matt was kind of jerk, but he didn't want me get like put my name as his autograph, but. I can know how W superstars those days they can be annoying or sometimes they just don't want to do anything. As long as you don't deserve them, you'll be good. But it's not, they will not give it to you. But it's hard, dude. Like it's really hard. But
so Matt didn't even give you like his name under the autograph or something like that.
He didn't get. I asked for him to put my name. So put his name here, so I just go ahead, put your name. I didn't care, I got his picture with not a picture of him, but I just took a picture with far away when he took it, or my sister did, one of the two. But it's like I was kind of sad, like man, I would have had a chance to take a picture with him, but I'm glad that I talked to him. I shake his hand. His hand had a big old grip, dude. He had a big old grip, and if you shake his hand, it was really grip on him. So hey, how you doing? Like doing good. And he told me like, what are you wearing? Like, oh, I was wearing a Triple H shirt because I was a fan of Triple H back in this area. But yeah, but Hardy, man, he's okay, but he was a dick, But now that he changed a lot, like he's not like the same person he used to be because he was the same thing with his brother. They used to do drugs, used to drinking problems, but the one who changed his lot is his new wife. He's like, he was being clean for so many years. Like this food did change, so
Did,
hopefully,
did you think that maybe Matt Hardy's attitude has changed because of what happened with Lita?
I think so. After he left Lita, it was
Because
like,
Edge was the one that created all that crap.
yeah. So that's what Matt was acting like a dick. Like, come on, dude. Like, if he can put my name. But it's okay, I understand. Matt was like going through with his ex, like I know, understand, like heartbroken, but
Oh,
that's
dude,
what and it's hard. But now that he changed, he's with his new wife. He is ready to have four kids. Like I follow him on Instagram or Twitter, or I think more than Instagram or YouTube. Like I can see Matt have changed a lot. Like I want him to be that person he can be because I know a lot of W wrestlers. They're not gonna change. You never know because there can be drink. Sometimes wrestlers can be like having drinking problems or drag out. You never know because my dream it was like always wanting to meet Eddie Guerrero before he passed away. I always wanted to meet Eddie. Eddie was like my favorite wrestler of all time.
there was an event in Fresno where he was going to sign an autograph right down Carl's Jr., but I heard that he was like 30 minutes freaking late drunk.
Mm-hmm.
And he only went there for 30 minutes signing, and everybody was pissed because they didn't get
Mm-hmm.
their signing. And the guy was showing up with late in drugs or something. But,
Mm-hmm.
dude, I love Eddie Guerrero, but man, if that was true, he came 30 minutes late and only had to do a 30-minute signing.
Mm-hmm.
I would hate that.
Yeah, I agree with you because a lot of wrestlers they take time, to get there and be there to meet all the fans and get their autographs, take a picture and all that. But I always wanted to meet Eddie way before he passed away. It's like, dude, I want to
Yeah.
meet Eddie one day. I want to see him how his reaction with me because I know he seems cool. He's a good person. Eddie have changed a lot this business. He's like this dude is a legend.
Oh, Rey Mysterio was one of the nicest guys I've ever met by far. Like out of all the wrestlers I've met over the years, Rey was by far the nicest person.
Mm-hmm.
I got this one funny story about meeting Rey Mysterio. Like, it was like during 2004 and the State Park Center when they were about to build, or I think one was like a few years built or something.
Mm-hmm.
They had a line out there or something like that. And then the funny part was, my mom brought up my cousin's name into the discussion, and then Ray just knew who the hell he was. He knew who he was right off the bat, and he let us talk for hours. We took pictures with him. We chit-chat, and some of the security guards were like, say, hey, what are you standing around for? And then Ray's like, no, those are my familia or something. He said something about that's my family or something.
Yeah,
And he was a nice guy, and he was like cool. We were chit-chatting wrestling, and we were talking about other wrestlers and all the other stuff. And then he told me, oh, I'll tell Santos, I'll say what's up to you guys and all that stuff. He says, hey, man, it was nice to see you guys.
Yeah.
And then when I went to these events, when I see him there, he points on me.
Wow, that's cool, man.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I can say
Carlito was cool. Carlito was a respectful dude. Like, Carlito isn't as bad as he was, but his brother was a dick. Primo.
I bet.
Big douchebag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he didn't even talk to me. He didn't talk to me directly, bro. I was trying to like give him a thank you or say hello to him, and he just gave me that look like, here you go. Mm-hmm. Whatever.
Yeah, I remember my favorite match between Eddie was Eddie versus JBL. That's my number one.
JBL.
Eddie versus Rey Mysterio. Eddie versus Kurt Angle, and number 4 is
Eddie versus Benoit.
And then 5 will be Eddie I think versus who was that? I think Chavo Guerrero. That's one of my top 5 when Chavo turned on his uncle. So that's one of my favorite top 5 all time.
I got a list of my matches that one of the top 5 rivalries for Eddie. Okay, so number 1, of course, him and Chris Benoit just put on a great show. Like it's without a doubt. Him and Chris Jericho, I think it's one of the most underrated rivalries that nobody talks about, but him and Jericho put on good shows. Let's see. So I said Benoit and Jericho.
Right.
Rey Mysterio, without a doubt. Kurt Angle, yes, that's him and JBL, that definitely had some. That was a building for JBL's legacy. If it wasn't for Guerrero putting him over, JBL would have been just what he was. But him and JBL had that great chemistry, and it just stood out. People hated JBL for this, but he did it out of controversial, and Guerrero encouraged him to do it. Guerrero kept pushing for him to do it. He kept saying, say this, say that, or do this. And that's what was told. And people who hated JBL then when he was just a guy wrestling, now they start to appreciate what he's done then. JBL tells you these stories of what Guerrero told him behind the scenes to do. Like when he didn't do that just to do it. He wasn't comfortable with it, but Guerrero says, no, keep doing it. Just do it. Just do it.
Right.
Like, you know that one incident where Guerrero's mom had a heart attack or something?
Yeah, I think I remember that.
But Guerrero told him to do that.
Oh, wow.
And the mom was okay with it. I think that's what built it up. And then the one match where he says stuff about like the racist type of rants or something, he told him, just do that. Do that. You're going to get a lot of heat for that. And he says, go ahead. Do. But, you know, him and Kurt Angle had some good matches too.
Yeah, for sure.
But Jericho and Guerrero, to me, had some great around matches. Like, if you looked at the early years, you've seen him and Jericho had some good matches at WCW, WWE. Dude, those guys had some good shows. Like, even Guerrero would put him in. Like, Guerrero had, like, a book where he would put Jericho as one of his top opponents he enjoyed wrestling, too. Him and Jericho and Benoit.
I want to see
and Malenko. Malenko's another guy that's honorable mention is Malenko.
Yeah, because they called the Three Amigos.
Yeah, but Malenko was like the one guy nobody talks about. And he says that he enjoyed working with him also. So it was like,
yeah, I think my dream match between Eddie, I want to see Eddie Guerrero versus Alberto Dorito. That's his name. I want to see between with them two face each other. Who's the better Mexican wrestler? I want to see Alberto Dorito versus Eddie Guerrero. That will be the best dream match. And I put them as I can put one last standing match. I want to see who's the last standing, who's the better wrestler.
If Guerrero was still alive, I think for whatever reason, it doesn't matter the size, he has that dog mentality. But Del Rio just has that instinct, bro. He just has that little instinct where he doesn't give a damn. But it can come down to kind of like how they build up a match with him and JBL kind of match. It kind of has that vibe of a JBL match, like Guerrero and JBL type match where it comes down to either way. But if I had to choose a dream match that I wanted to see, bro, that I've yet to see and I'm probably never going to see it, I wanted to see a Shawn Michaels and a Rock match.
Oh, wow. That's a good one.
Never happened. Like, if it wasn't for Shawn Michaels' injury, I would have loved to seen that match with him and The Rock. Like, can you imagine that match? How do you think that match would have been? You think that it would have been a pretty good match or not really?
I think it would be a good match. Who's the better wrestler between Shawn Michaels and Rock? I can give him, like, what kind of subject match will be like between the Cell Cage or Hell in a Cell, one last standing match, or maybe the Iron match. That's really like who's the best. You can put a best of 5.
Oh, yeah, there's some good matches.
So many things that you can think of because one of my favorite match between it was Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. I think it was WrestleMania 21. I seen them against each other. That would I never forget between Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels. If it was not for Kurt Angle, I would have put The Rock. If he didn't do all that movie stuff, I would have put The Rock.
I would have loved to see that match, dude. That's the one match that nobody's ever got to see and probably never will. But then there's another dream match that I would have loved to see, but it seemed like it was very too late and it didn't. It just never happened. Sting and Undertaker kind of seemed like an interesting match.
Right.
You had the franchise of WCW versus the face. I mean, the dark of the face of the WWE. I mean, I don't know if they've ever wrestled each other. I don't know. Maybe I might have to look into it, but
I don't think so. But like I said, who's like I don't know who's more darkness between the Undertaker and Sting, but I can say the Undertaker's more darkness because look at the Undertaker. He used to dress up purple stuff. No, actually, gray first. He used to have a gray jacket with a suit. I mean, like a tie, and then he changed it to purple. Then after that, that's when Paul Bear turned on him. He was wearing some jacket. It was all full black.
Oh yes.
Yes, and then the Undertaker. Well, when Undertaker became the Lord of Mystery Darkness, he had a gold teeth around his chin. Like, dude, that was badass. I like when he did it. Like, my wife told me, like, man, wife, I want to do that one day like him. But no, you're not. But like it's
She
funny.
said
It's like
no.
and then after he became American Badass, like dude, Undertaker was like American Badass. He drive his motorcycle
Like
for
a motorcycle, he dressed like a douchebag. Like he dressed
yeah,
up
like he
like
was
a
like
total
redneck,
prick.
like Undertaker, dude. Like he was fucking
Disrespectful, beating up people, making like he was like that one biker gang that just told you to pay some respect or he's kicking your ass.
I know and then after when Kane buried him in the buried life match, so like dude, what Kane, dude, you ruined it for your brother, new. But when the Undertaker returned the dead man, when I told my buddies, like, so guess what? Undertaker's known. So when Undertaker he had a little jacket, a cowboy hat, and he was walking the stage. That was kind of dope. At sometimes like I want to see Undertaker became a dead man walking this jacket with his cowboy hat. He should have won his motorcycle, but after he did that for a long time, it's pretty dope. You know, he changed all his stuff. Like I like what he was doing, but for saying he was completely different. Same was like always black and white, but I can see what when he was in WCW and TNA, he used to have the rape paint on his face. Like I never see Sane had rape paint in his face because he was part of the NW Wolfpack, I think. But
Yeah.
I was surprised, like wow, I never seen that before.
Well,
Because
to be fair about it, like in those days of these matches, I mean, I don't know. The thing about the Undertaker, like in the early years, I think in 1998 or 99, he had the look of Lucifer with the facial look and all that shit. Have you ever seen that one where he had the black suit with the cross, but then he had the facial look of Lucifer?
I'm not sure, dude.
You never seen it? Like, check it out. Look at Undertaker 1999 or something like that, or 98, whatever.
I think I did, but I had to look it up.
Yeah, he looked like the freaking devil's child.
Oh my god.
Like, I don't know, like during the Attitude Era, he was looking like that.
Yeah, Undertaker was bad, dude. Like, I can see the Undertaker, man. This guy can change anything. But if he was still around in WWE, I think he will be like going back. Because the only thing I see the Undertaker when he became again American Badass since the WrestleMania, I think it was 36 or 37 during this pandemic. Like, okay, he's dressing up American Badass, and that was bad that he got on his bike. I'm gonna face AJ Styles, but that was a great match I see between him.
Yeah, that was like a build up. That was like a build up for his last time with that character. But the American Badass character just seemed more better. But then I thought it was a good run for him, but I never understood why it had to be Barry. It could have just went on. But I think they wanted to make sure he was a face, and that's what they made Undertaker into, because he went back to his old character. Undertaker at the time just wasn't liking that character that they wanted to take back to him. He wanted to go back to his old self, and that's why he wanted that. And it explains why he became the biker person, because that was his actual real life persona.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, because my favorite match between the Undertaker was Undertaker and Kane, Undertaker Shawn Michaels, Undertaker Triple H, Undertaker Jeff Hardy, of course.
Undertaker and Mankind.
Yeah, Mankind, John Cena. There's so many matches I want to see.
Randy Orton also.
So there's so many matches between the Undertakers. This guy is the
him and JBL.
Yeah.
Big Show.
Yeah, it's like I was watching between Undertaker versus Ric Flair. That was the good match, but Anderson, he put on that move on Undertaker's like, dude, you know the Undertaker's not gonna kick out on 3. He's only gonna kick out on 2. You know how you gonna beat the streak, but Undertaker, he was a dude. He was a badass dude.
Oh yeah, dude. Arn Anderson's Spinebuster was the most effective move during that time because he had a 3 count with that finishing move. Before then, it wasn't that effective. Now in today's wrestling, that move's not even that effective. You might just get a 2 count.
Yeah, yeah. I want to see the Undertaker and Batista again. My other.
Oh, that was a good match too. Him and Edge was another good match.
Mhm,
Randy Orton was a good match they built onto.
mhm.
I
Yeah.
thought it had potential. I thought they could have. I thought maybe that would have been the perfect time to beat his streak was to put Randy Orton over
Mhm,
because they're calling him the Legend Killer, and what's a better way to kill a legend than to beat
mhm.
Undertaker at WrestleMania?
Are you scared of the Undertaker? What if you met him in person? Will you shake his hand or will you give him a hug? Because I know a lot of your Undertaker. He's cool. I know he's cool and maybe he probably asked you some questions. Will you give him a
Yeah,
hug or you
I'll
shake
shake
his
his
hand?
hand. I'll shake his hand.
Yeah, because I was watching the Special Olympics because the Undertaker was part of that. There was a kid like he was disability, like he was all surprised. Oh my God, it's the Undertaker! Like give him a hug, and man, I would have loved to hug Undertaker or shake him hand, but he's always been my favorite wrestler. But this guy's always good. But give him my credit, Undertaker's really damn good wrestler. He's
Well,
fought.
in the ring, he may be the prick, but outside the ring, he's a nice guy, from what I was
Yeah,
told.
for sure. Yeah, he is. Cause my friend told me like, yeah, I'm in the Undertaker. Like, how you feel you mean Undertaker? Oh, he's a nice guy. He's not mean or anything. It's like, oh, that's cool, man. So yeah, so there's
He
a
was
lot
on,
of
he was on a video with Snoop Dogg too.
yeah, I remember that.
I don't know if you saw that video.
I don't think so, but I don't remember.
They were talking, they were like chilling and smoking weed together.
Oh my God, this guy.
It's funny.
I know. So okay, what's your funny memory? I know I was watching in 2006. I was still in middle school, going to high school. What's your favorite member between D Generation X? Because I have a collection of DX now, and I remember Shawn Michaels and Triple H. What's your favorite member about them? I remember Shawn Michaels and Triple H. I know Shawn Michaels didn't want to look at girls, but Triple H did because this dude was talking about Vince. You know what? Like, dude, what the
the
heck
cock,
was that, man? What's your
dude.
favorite funny moment?
Oh, the one where Vince McMahon had his voice change into the mic. He says, "I'm not having the check box."
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know what was kind of funnier was the
Mm-hmm.
little people courts.
Oh my God, this guy.
No, the little people courts. But
Yeah,
I
I seen it. Yeah, I seen it. Yeah.
and then there's the one where DX and Crime Time do like a segment together, and they're trying to like go into like the scene where they sneak into the arena where they're banned or something.
Yeah, I think.
And then the Spear Squad shit was funny too.
Yeah,
You remember that one?
yeah, I heard about it. Yeah, I
They
seen
make
it.
them dress like chicks.
Yeah, I remember when because I was not a fan of Triple H back then because he was heel, but then Shawn Michaels was more face. So, and I started liking Triple H in 2006. Like this guy is funny. I know he is kind of funny when he was ready. Know he's like, oh yeah, DS is coming back. I knew a DS gonna come because they haven't seen being a tag team for a long time. Been almost what for a long, I don't know, like 2006. So back then it was like 45. I don't know what number.
It was a long
But
time ago because
time.
they were part of
Mhm,
that DX in the '90s. So that's when
mhm, right.
they established it in '97
Mhm,
because of Rick Rude did it. I think Rick
mhm.
Rude came up with the idea, and that's when they became the Generation X.
Yeah, I think my favorite member between DX when he called Vince like you know what like calling him like oh you like hogs or you love roosters or whatever like dude that was like too much man but I was laughing but
Vince likes cocks. That was funny.
and then the Spanish squads had to dress up like cheerleaders and one of them who's currently right now wrestling right now is Dog
That
Slater.
was
I bet you probably remember that
yeah, it
but
was funny as
it's
hell.
it's funny, but I think DX was funny. I think they were like more funny, like making the fans entertained. But Shawn Michaels didn't want to look at girls because I know he's married, he's Christian, and all. I think
But I think Triple H knew part of his character because his wife didn't care.
yeah. So and then Triple H, like I know he was trying to flirt with girls like divas and all. Like, bro, really? You're married, and you should have known better. But
But remember this one character run by Chavo Guerrero. Like to this day, I think it was one of the weirdest fucking character you ever had. But now that you look in today's society, you do have these Mexican Trump supporter guys now, like dressing like that now.
right.
Remember before it wasn't like this. Now
Mhm.
that when Chavo Guerrero was turned into Kermit White, bro, I thought that was one of the most corniest and cockiest shit I've seen. He kind
Yeah.
of like denounced his heritage and freaking went into the white shit, called himself the Great White Hope, and
Mhm.
says Curran White and all that shit. And then he does that little phony ass smile like this.
Mhm.
I thought that shit was funny, bro. They should have
Wow.
went with it, bro. I thought that was gonna be a good run.
Remember, Diva and Dudley used to be one trying to be a pastor.
Oh yeah,
And
Reverend Devon, yes. Where Batista was the Deacon Batista or something.
yeah, something like that.
Oh, dude, I thought it had a good run too, but man, they messed up every run. I thought the current white character could have built onto something.
That was a
Then,
really good one too. I
then the Eugene
remember.
character.
Oh yeah, you interviewed that guy. That was funny.
Yeah, that
He's,
guy's funny.
he's your disabled guy, man. You need to take him to the special needs. No, I'm just kidding.
No. But I actually was gonna get Doug Basham, but
Cool,
I guess
funny.
back
It's funny with
he
him.
would,
I like how he dressed like he was walking the ring, all like just like doing this or doing that. I was like, dude, like it was kind of funny. It was entertainment.
and then Rico too was a cool dude.
Rico was funny too when he was with Billy and Chuck. He was when Rico was trying to he was telling Billy and Chuck like, Billy, come on, hurry. Like they want to get married and trying to kiss in front of people. Like, dude, no, man, don't.
That's
do that.
kayfabe gay shit.
Yeah. Oh, they come. Like I know what Rico wants, but Rico was kind of funny. Billy and Chuck was entertained. I remember Billy Gunn and Road Dogg were the on-loss. I think they were funny too. They were a part of the G Generation X because
Yeah,
I told my stepdad, I was like, hey, stepdad, I was like, what's up?
New Age Outlaws.
Yeah, you can call me a Billy badass because I'm Billy and he's Road Dogg's like, be quiet, I'm not Road Dogg, like you are. So yeah,
you didn't know? You better call somebody.
yeah, I remember that.
That
They
dude
were
was funny.
funny too. They were funny, and then I know your boyfriend, what's the name, Val Venus, used to dress up with his underwear and showing all the ladies. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that guy was weird, but his character was based by.
He came down to Fresno. He came down Fresno. He came to Val Venus. Like when he came down to Fresno, they had a wrestling entertainment here way before I met all the W. No,
He lives in Las Vegas as we speak, but I'm trying to get him on the show.
Val Venus. Oh, wait, no, before the way before Chavo came here to Fresno. But I remember Val Venus. Yeah, he was there. He was facing someone in one of the matches, but yeah, I never met him. But he was here before Chavo came. But I was like, dude, man, I could have.
Hello, ladies.
Yeah, he was kind of funny too. He was a good character.
Dude, that guy had a
lot of funny dudes. But for my opinion, it's hard to contact wrestlers those days. You know, like you want to get into touch with them, but at the same time, it's like, oh, I'm getting tired. Or because I only met two of the WWE wrestlers. Used to,
I'm trying to get Chavo on, bro, but it's hard to get him.
Right, correct. And then I met AJ Kirsch. Remember AJ Kirsch? He used to be in the W Tough Enough.
I think I remember him, but the name
He used to be. He was in the W Tough Enough when he told Socone or something. He was in there as well. He was like a. He used to live in. Well, he lives in California, but I remember he was a cool dude. He was a nice guy.
What are you talking about? What's his name?
AJ Kirsch.
AJ Kirsch.
He was in one in the W Tough Enough.
So he probably wasn't that big of a name, but he was on Tough Enough. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what would be kind of interesting to get on the show is Hardcore Holly. Everybody hates him because he's a fucking dick at training. Like everybody just said he was a terrible trainer and freaking stiff on people. Mm-hmm. Imagine just having him on the show or JBL. Yeah, hey, how would you feel about JBL if I had him on the show?
Oh, dude, I hate you, dude.
You're gonna say that? You're gonna tell him that on the comments?
I'm for sure, man. Like, it's hard.
The guy was funny.
Like, it's hard, dude. Like, okay, let me show a picture. Let me share it to you before it.
But part of JBL's character was he explained why it went that way because Guerrero wanted it to be that way for him.
This guy, AJ Kirsch.
Okay, AJ Kirsch.
Look it up.
Was this a while ago?
It was back in when we still had school that time, and back in 2011 or 2012. I don't remember.
Yeah, that was probably a long time ago. So he probably wasn't around. Like he probably didn't last too long.
No, I met him. He was here in Fresno. We had a wrestling show, so I was wearing I didn't wear no jersey. No, I didn't. So
Brian Cage is from here, so I don't know.
Yeah, I met him. He seems a nice guy. So I met AJ Kirsch. So he came to in the ring before his entry. When he go to the entrance, I was right there. Come on, I thought I didn't know who was this guy was. Like, oh, who's this guy? I give him his. Can I have a high five? He was like, psych. Like, I don't want to get. I'm not gonna shake your hand. It's like, really? Like, I thought he was heel back then. He was a heel. Like, all right, I get it. But after the match was over, he was cool with me. I don't care, But AJ was cool. He was a cool dude. I have a picture of him, but he was a good person. But if you're inside in the ring, you never know they're face or heel. Doesn't matter. But
yeah, they just play the role. They play the role pretty good. But some people keep telling me I should get Bully Ray. I don't know. He's kind of hard to get.
And then I met him. And then remember Manny Fernandez? He used to wrestle for WCW back then.
Yeah, he was a trainer, but I try to reach out for him too. But
I met him before. I met him like 3-4 times.
He looks like Cheech Marin.
Oh my god, this guy!
Have you seen what he looks like lately?
Oh, dude, I haven't seen him since the last time I seen him was like in 2013. We were like so in school that time. Like I haven't seen him.
I gotta get in contact with him and then try to get Chavo Guerrero on too, because I want to get Chavo in just to discuss his wrestling days and his uncle, just to get a little different perspective.
I think Chavo Guerrero, he had this guy's a good wrestler. I give him a credit. Him and
he just was underappreciated, but he could have at least gotten into the Hall of Fame at least.
I can see the girls can be in the Hall of Fame, not just him, just the girls.
No. He actually kind of made a case for himself, bro. Like, he's won the cruiserweight like so many times. He's won the ECW title. He's won the tag team titles. He's won pretty much everywhere in Mexico and other promotions. I don't see no other reason why not. He's kind of has more titles than his actual rest of the family besides Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
If you make a strong argument, I think he makes a case for the Hall of Fame, but he's just underappreciated.
So what do you think about what did you hear about when Eddie and Brown Wall passed away?
That one was by surprise, but I've heard something about the hotel situation, and Chavo was there at the time. And then what happened was Chavo didn't know what was going on, and then when he found out what was going on, he checked in, and he didn't even notice because the door was locked. Something happened, and then it was just one of those situations where it caught him by surprise, and then that's when Chavo had to ditch the Curran White character, and that's what really changed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then the match with JBL, he got put over against JBL. JBL let him win the match because of his Uncle Eddie. And let's see, Benoit was the more devastated one out of all of them. When Eddie passed, it kind of really affected Benoit mentally, because when Benoit found out about Eddie passing away, I guess from what Chavo said in the story was Benoit was crying like a crazy whale, bro, like out of freaking tears.
Right.
Like he was like, like all the tears, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
Like he couldn't take it. And then it was depressing for him for those last 2 years. I think it was 2 years or something before he passed away. Right. And it was so depressing for him. So he couldn't cope with it because he worked with Eddie. He was great friends with him. And then when he saw that video tribute of Eddie Guerrero, Benoit had some tears of like something about him feeling sincere or feeling sad about it. The way he kind of said it kind of seemed like he was kind of laughing a little bit. Mm-hmm. I just didn't quite get it. Like he's like or something like that. Mm-hmm. Like when you see the tribute, right? When you see the tribute, right? Did you see how Benoit was kind of talking and the way he was sad, but it kind of seemed like he was kind of laughing a little bit. Like I didn't know. Like does it sound kind of weird for me to question it a little bit or not?
I think so, but that's how they are. They're laughing. They're just fine. Depends how they are. The wrestlers are, because when I found out before Eddie passed away, I was still in middle school. I was in 8th, so I came to my class. This one girl told me, "It's like, what's going? What? You know what? Eddie Guerrero passed away. Really? I didn't believe her if she's gonna say yeah or no, but yeah, I do believe. Believe me, he did pass away." Like, really? Like, yeah. So when I found out, telling my other friends, like, it's true, Eddie died. It's like, yeah, Eddie passed away. It's like, wow. So I was heartbroken. I was sad. Like, dude, really? So, and I told my mom, I was like, Mom, well, guess what? Eddie died. Like, really? It's like, oh, I'm sorry, but But then like 2 years later, I found out Benoit passed away. Like when I was gonna about to watch WWE Raw because my dad was always in the living room.
There
Like,
was going to be a match for him and CM Punk at
mhm.
a Vengeance or something. They were going to have that title match for the
It's a
ECW.
one day stand match, I think.
No, like remember that match? That was the last appearance by Chris Benoit. Like
Hmm.
remember when it was on an ECW show? Like they
Yeah,
made
right.
it, they renewed it, and then Benoit was gonna face CM Punk for that title because the
Hmm.
title was vacated. It was available because it was a tournament. And
Hmm.
then what really happened was John Morrison eventually replaced Benoit's spot and won the match.
Hmm. Yeah, because
It was originally supposed to be him and Punk.
yeah, I when I found out Brad Walls, like I thought he died of slow rage or anything, but when I found out he killed his family, he killed himself, and like I was like, I would not do that because
Depression.
it hurts you, and then of course you're in the wrestling business. He never had to take time off. He never do anything about it because wrestlers used to hit chairs on the head, like hit him chair shots, like
And his
all
mind was like
fake,
a
like
mind of an 80-year-old guy too. So he
the
just worked
fake
off.
like a concussion. I know how much it hurts. I never went to a wrestling event here a chair shot before, but that's kind of can hurt on people's head. But when I hear a chair shot, it does probably it hurts on the wrestler. It hurts them. They don't have time at home or they never anything. That's what Bonwa does. Like after the funeral, after Eddie died, like I'm going back to wrestling. The dude, you could have take time off, dude. And like you could have not. I know you care about wrestling, but
They're passionate about it. That's the thing. It kills them
you need
inside if
time.
they let it be.
Hmm. And that's what I like about
But
Kurt Angle because I was reading this what I was watching this video. Kurt Angle, he was telling this one reporter like, yeah, I make my own decision. I don't want to be like going through this again. Like between them. But I just want to take time off. Like W doesn't let time off. I know like TNA will do it. But now that wrestlers, they should understand what's going on in their lives. They need to take care of themselves and not just stay away from wrestling for a while. Just do what you need to do. Take your family out on vacation or
yeah, it's a work because WWE they put a lot of work out of you. But in
right.
other promotions, it gives you light work there. But yeah,
Yeah, wrestling is fun. It's fun, but there's wrestlers, there's sacrifice in this world. Like they need I know they want to earn money to support their family, but it's crazy. But W is they making it a good business. But now everything have changed. All the wrestlers it's not the same going up as a childhood, but now like you're an adult now, you see like so many faces. Who's this person, who's that. But I can say my favorite wrestler right now, Korean W. I really don't have one right now, but I can say maybe Kevin Owens like the best wrestler right now.
yeah,
Who's
he's got the big mouth, but he's definitely good.
yeah.
The one I really currently like,
Uh-huh.
man, like there's a lot of good ones. But if we're going by young up and coming stars, I
Uh-huh.
do like KO in some ways, but then I really like
Uh-huh.
man, it's really hard to pick one, but I really like some of these other guys. Like there's some good talent, but
Uh-huh.
Austin Theories has potential, but I still like Randy Orton. I
Yeah.
still think Orton's one of the best. He doesn't have to do too much, but I feel like if we're going by the young up and coming star,
Uh-huh.
I'm still gonna go. I still think Rollins is probably the more entertaining out of everybody else.
Yeah.
As much people don't like him, I think he's one of the most funniest heels. Very arrogant, cocky. I enjoy his segments more.
So for if you want to be a WWE wrestler, will you be heel or you want to be face?
I'd rather be a heel. I don't want to be freaking cheer. I want them to freaking say I suck. I want them to freaking act like the stuff I say is real and they fucking threaten me or try to get up close, bro. Because when you do this heel stuff, you're not supposed to be like.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
being a face is nice and all that, but you know who's the best heel outside of WWE that everybody doesn't like? Everybody kind of mentions now more. MJF. I think he's a good heel.
Mm-hmm.
Most cockiest, arrogant dude. This youngster from New York that thinks he's better than everybody. That's a definition of what a heel should be.
So what do you think as a child turned heel back in WCW? Like he became the member of NWO while he was like joining with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. What are your reaction with me, man? Now, like seeing him what he did, because a lot of kids those days like we want to see Hogan be face, but now back then like he turned heel and then he turned a bad guy and then you know
That was pretty much like if we're going by the time when WCW came, I think it was a matter of time because I think people got so tired of Hogan being the face, bro.
mhm,
Like when you have a star for so long and he's
mhm,
pretty much vanilla and not the same entertaining like he was, you gotta mix it up a little bit. And the thing with Hogan, him turning heel was going to draw a lot of heat. So when he turned heel to join NWO, bro, that was the change of the guard. That was the industry of the business. This is what WCW needed to do, was to build around a guy like Hogan and make him the bad guy.
mhm.
Like, dude, that's what changed the business, and that's what really was keeping WCW for a little while. But if it wasn't for that, I don't think they would have gone further than that.
Yeah, I seen it too because I was surprised when Hogan was like, dude, you had all the fans cheer for you, but Hogan when he turned heel was like surprised, but he became an NWO and then I remember Hogan turned heel twice. Remember when he turned heel twice when it was a moto. They had a group in TNA, but I remember it was when Jeff Hardy versus Kurt Angle versus who they Rob Van Dam, I think, for the TNA World Championship.
Listen, brother.
So when he told when Hogan turned heel again, like what the hell? Hogan turned heel again? Are you seriously like? I thought like he was running TNA business and he changed everything about TNA. Like he didn't want no six ring. He wants a four sides of ring, I think. But when Jeff Hardy turned heel, like, dude, really? Like, I didn't know what's gonna say. And Eric Bradshaw, like, come on, let's get it. Let's get to it. But
Bischoff was all muddy and controversial, but
mm-hmm,
Bischoff was very innovative when it came to creating like controversial types segments and all that. And then you had Paul Heyman, who was very innovative with wrestling too. So you had different perspective and all
so
that.
who's better, Paul Heyman or Eric Bischoff?
Man, Paul Heyman, like no. But if we're going by those two,
Mm-hmm,
Paul Heyman made the most out of a smaller company and made the most out of it. Bischoff, on the other hand, he inherited a company by Turner, and
mm-hmm,
it didn't last too long.
mm-hmm,
Paul Heyman made the most out of a small company and made it last for until almost 10 years.
mm-hmm,
Bischoff benefited under Turner. Turner had this business from there, and it only lasted almost 10 years. And the same with Paul Heyman. But Paul Heyman was a guy that made the business. But if we're going by a guy that knows the business from right off the bat, it's got to be Paul Heyman, hands down. The guy was one of the most psychologists, most brilliant dudes in the business. But I would put Jim Cornette above him or guys like that. But I think Paul Heyman was just a guy that was just a visionary, a guy that knew business. Bischoff was a guy that just was all about the money and
mm-hmm,
just build his matches, but he didn't keep a company that long, bro, because Turner, when you're working under Turner, like the guy who was the richest dude, and you couldn't even keep the company for long.
mm-hmm.
Paul Heyman couldn't keep it for long either, but he had it it was a small business.
Right.
I got to give Heyman more credit than Bischoff.
Mm-hmm. So when I don't know how to explain it. Do you think they will face each other between WCW and ECW, like all the wrestlers? Who's the best wrestlers? I think.
They've had a segment, but it never happened with WCW. It's only happened with ECW. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it, bro. It's kind of like at that point. But yeah, dude, we're already getting past the full hour, my dude. I'm getting cheated. We
Yeah,
can go on.
good.
We can go on, but it's like I gotta go get something to do.
Yeah, it's all good, man. We can talk about part 3 if you want to talk about W again.
Yeah, another time. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Just I want to go get me something to eat quickly, and then I'm gonna call my wife and see what's going on. I gotta fix this air condition, see what the hell's going on.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thank you for having me, and we'll continue to do part 3 if we have time. And I love to talk about wrestling. Wrestling is really fun and it's their entertainment, but I miss wrestling back then. I would love to talk about more like our favorite matches all time. We can talk about what's your favorite remembering like about who turned heel and who was more
Yeah.
face. So we can
You,
talk
you
about
should
that.
you should you should try to get some wrestlers on your show at some point, man.
Yeah,
Try to reach out for Rico Constantino, but go on
depends one day,
Facebook.
but it's done.
Just message him. Like he has a Facebook account,
Mhm.
but it's a page, a fan page.
Mhm.
If you message him, he might respond to you.
Right.
Let's see.
Mhm.
I don't know what other wrestlers you got. I've tried to reach out with Charlie Haas, but he never responded back. I think he told me like Chris Masters never responded back to me.
Add him on Facebook. I
I did. He just never
maybe
added me.
maybe he's too busy. Maybe.
Doug Basham, I've messaged him before, but he kind of like was interested, but then it just disappeared. I guess he might have misunderstood the time clock that I said because I think he wanted to jump in, but I guess something happened, and I guess he just never went on the show since.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I posted a picture on my Twitter of Brian Cage. He likes it, and I was like, "What? He likes my picture that I posted when I was at here in Fresno." So
Yeah, you need to tag him in. I need to get him on the show. Then I'm gonna get Brian Cage at some point. You got it. Can you tag him along? Maybe I'll get him on.
I think so. You can try, but I think he's still like an NW, and he's so famous.
You know what would be kind of cool to have on the show is Taz.
Oh no, forget Taz.
You don't like it? Oh, that dude's funny as hell.
He's kind of funny at the fun part, but it's like, no, dude, I don't want
That
that.
dude's funny as hell.
I
His commentation is funny, bro. Like he's kind of biased, but he's funny as hell.
You know, you should have
Who?
Spike Dudley.
I've tried to get him, but it's hard to get a hold of him.
Dude, we need to go to a wrestling event one day. You know, we need to go see all the wrestlers one day because I know Rikishi did came down this year. I think he was here in this town, but we need to get everyone like get to talk to them and ask them so many questions. Oh, do you have a YouTube channel or do you have like a Twitter or something so we can talk? But it's hard those days.
And none of them go on active like they used to, so they're hard to get.
Yeah, but I know where you can find Manny Fernandez, but you can ask him. He can put you in the show, but I don't know. It's hard, man. I don't know.
I don't even know if he has a Facebook or anything with Twitter because I've tried to reach out with a lot of.
I think he has a Facebook. I think you had to look it up. I think he has a face. I tried to add him, but he didn't request me. But it's all good. But I still have a picture of him. I can show the picture I took, so it's on my Facebook.
So you can just message him, right? But he probably won't respond, huh?
He will respond, but it depends on their schedule and all that.
I want to get Chavo Guerrero.
No. I would send that picture to you with Manny Fernandez when we were still at City one time, and I remember Manny gave me that finger like this, like, dude, really?
Like, I think he did it as a joke, right?
Yeah, it was a joke. Yeah.
All right, man.
Thank you, man, for having me, and we'll continue doing this soon, man.
We'll figure out something soon, man. Maybe during week 3, we can do your Broncos and Niners talk, man. You can go on my show for that week.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thank you, man.
I was hoping that maybe there was going to be people in the comments, but I guess it's pretty quiet, man.
I guess they're busy, I guess.
But they'll probably watch it later.
Yeah, for sure, man. Hopefully they like it. I have already 3 likes already, so hopefully they don't hate me talking about wrestling. I want to talk about a lot of popular culture, and that's why I've been wanting to do it. Not except football, I want to do something different.
Yeah, and yeah, dude. I mean, my other backup channel is like almost at 300, bro.
Oh, nice, man.
It's just all Niners channel, and it's already like almost to 200,000 views.
Oh shit, that's nice.
The watch hours are going up like crazy.
I know, right?
Yeah, but all right, man. I'll catch you.
All right, thank you, man, for having me.
Appreciate it, man.
All right. This is my boy CG Ruthless Sports. We had a great time on stream. Hopefully, we continue to do part 3. And hopefully we do this. Thank you for having me, and then hope you guys have a good day. I have a lot of things going on. I have homework to do, so thank you guys. See ya.